Welcome back. We're here for Thone's Nibbles, number 17, covering Matthew 17. And the subject for today is tribute to the temple, with a question mark at the end. And this comes from Matthew 17, verses 24 through 27. When they had come to Capernaum, those who received the temple tax came to Peter and said, "Does your teacher not pay the temple tax?" He said, "Yes." And when he had come to the house, Jesus anticipated him, saying, "What do you think, Simon? From whom do the kings of earth take custom or taxes? From their sons or from strangers?" Peter said to him, "From strangers." Jesus said to him, "Then the sons are free. Nevertheless, lest we offend them, go to the sea, cast in a hook, and take the fish that comes up first. And when you have opened its mouth, you will find a piece of money. Take that and give it to them for me and you." Okay, first of all, let's make sure that we understand this is the temple tax. It was something that was specified by God for the maintenance of the temple. This is not the secular tax that was collected for the Romans, which we saw, for example, that's why Mary and Joseph were in Bethlehem when they lived in Nazareth, is that they had gone back to Joseph's hometown to pay the secular tax collected by the Romans. This is easy to be confused about because the translations talk about the census was taken. At that time, a census was not like, somebody knocks on your door and asks you these questions about who lives here and all that stuff. No, it's meant to be a tax. Every person had to pay their taxes. Explanation, questions, and answers. Why is this in the Bible? Jesus often did things he did not have to do to avoid conflict. As he pointed out, the Son is free. And he is literally, in this situation, the Son of God. And this is a tax to maintain God's temple. So, in every technicality, he is free not to pay this tax because it's his house, not anybody else's. However, to avoid a conflict with people who are doing the right thing in general and just didn't recognize him as who he was, he went ahead and paid the tax. This was written to who? To Peter, although some others may have overheard this conversation. The communications. Often we must go beyond the requirements to show our Christian love. And that's such an important concept that, we can, if we really show our Christian love very well sometimes inside the church. And, we have a visitor at the church and we greet them and we just tell them how happy we are to see them. And, we ask, how did you learn about the church? And, oh, your Uncle Bill used to come here or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on about the church. But when we get outside the church, then suddenly we lose interest in people and only do things that are gainful to us or gainful to those who we truly, in a more intimate sense, love. Family, dear friends, and so on. Application to my life. Giving is important today as we must provide for the needs of the church. And that's what this is really being compared to, is this is how the same kind of payment which we do to maintain the integrity of our church, whether it be the physical integrity, putting a new roof on, or the appealingness, integrity of making the church look nice so that people who come are likely to come back because of that. And of course the spiritual integrity of the church, that is, that those people who teach in the church have their act together in terms of interpreting Scripture. And finally, the leader of the church. We must support the pastor, or in the case of larger churches, the pastoral staff, financially, so that they can continue to do their important work while we are members there. The message from God to me: Jesus owned the temple. He need not have paid. Similarly, we do not lose our salvation if we do not tithe. However, we may lose our joy if we do not tithe. And that's a pretty strong distinction, actually. You may join a church, be there for your entire life, never put a penny in the offering plate, or however it is that your church collects money, and God still will not take back your salvation, but He may take the joy out of being there and fellowshipping with the people if you do not give. I don't know. That's between you and God. My personal response: Jesus not only paid the tax He did not have to pay, He also died for us, which He didn't have to do. And that shows the love of Him, of the entire Trinity of God, for us individually, that Jesus gave His life for us. And that was part of the plan of God, who knew what the outcome would be otherwise. However, it was not a requirement. Jesus had to volunteer. Okay. So that completes Nibble 17. And I think this was one of the more important ones that I've gone through recently. But the fact is that if we do what we should be doing, then we are honoring God. And if we do what we should not be doing, we are not. That doesn't lose our salvation for us, but it is a great hindrance to our ministry. So until next time, bye-bye.